Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off-Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. You may recognize this piece of paper from my recent video of the solar eclipse trip. It is a piece of rheograph paper. I went ahead and wrote that down. Wrote that down? Sorry. Wrote that down here on the sticky note so that way you know what it's called and how to spell it. This is rheograph paper. It reacts to sunlight, so anywhere that there was a shadow, it would be much lighter. And where there's nothing covering it, the sun is going to make it darker, if I can explain science correctly. So basically, whenever the sun touches, makes darker. Wherever there is a shadow or something placed on top of the piece of paper, you will get a lighter image. Now, we made this rheograph during the partial portion of the eclipse. It obviously would take longer if it was at totality because there was hardly any sunlight making it down to the surface where we were. So it was funny actually doing a little bit of a science experiment because the closer we got to totality, the longer it took to make these prints because obviously the less sunshine making it down to the surface of the earth. So kind of a fun little experiment and some results that we didn't quite expect because we weren't really thinking about it. So fun little activity that you can do on your own at home. You don't have to have a total solar eclipse in order to do it. It can work any time of the year as long as there is sunshine. I'm going to take this rheograph paper and I'm going to try and make it into a keepsake in a frame so that way I will always remember that day. And I'm going to use my Cricut Explore Air to do that and the Design Space app here on my iPad. This is an unusual way to keepsake the day, but I think it's going to turn out really great and I hope it inspires you to create some great memories using unusual items. Obviously, the first thing that I need to do is go ahead and cut out my items on my Cricut and we'll get started doing that. Now, in order to get my print exactly where I want it on my canvas, I use the Snap Map feature from the Cricut Design Space app, and I'm going to line up my object so that it fits quite nicely into where I want it. I'm going to tilt it just a little bit because you may notice that this edge is a little off kilter from the other ones, so I don't want to do it very much, just a hair or two to make sure it's nice and fits perfectly in the center. So I'm going to futz around with this a little bit and then I'm going to go ahead and start cutting it on the Cricut. Alright, I think I've gotten it where I want it. It's probably going to still be a little off kilter, but you know, that's the best thing about handmade items is they're all going to be a little imperfect, and that's okay. Now that I've gotten everything cut out on my Cricut, I also did a little bit of had the Cricut right here in the corner. I think this will look really great in a frame, so I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing all the pieces together. I'll see you when I finish that. By the way, I wanted to mention that I am going to be using my Tombow Extreme Adhesive because this is going to be in a frame and I really want to ensure that everything is going to hold nicely over the years, so I'm going to use this Extreme Adhesive to make sure it does just that. Now that I've gone ahead and mounted everything the way I want it, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into this frame. It's a pretty cheap frame actually. I think I got it on sale at Aaron Brothers Framing, I believe. They were doing a really good sale. I think you bought one and you get one half price, free, something like that. It was some deal that was just too good to pass up, so I went ahead and bought it. I don't even remember how long ago I bought it, but I've had it on hand waiting for the perfect project, and I think this is definitely that perfect project. It's a simple black frame, so nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting, but definitely something that will look quite nice and kind of classy in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, oh, here's the label right here. Aaron Brothers, yep, I was right. This is an Aaron Brothers frame. it's a cheap one, like I said, because, you know, you have the tabs instead of some nice, pretty way to close the frame in. And before I do this all the way, I'm going to go ahead and take a peek on the front and make sure that this is what I want it to look like. Oh man, look at that. That looks great. I'm so excited about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish closing up this frame. And there's the final product. I really like how this came out, and this is a great way to make this keepsake into a displayable object that I hope to hang on to for a long time. So I talked about a lot of things in this video. I'm gonna try and put a link to the rayograph paper if I can find one on Amazon. I'll make sure to leave that down in the description below. I'm also going to link to the solar eclipse video up in the iCards if you have not had the chance to check that out. I highly recommend checking that out, and you get to see me super excited and the pure emotion as the solar eclipse was happening. So make sure to go check that out. And if you haven't already, hit that button down below that says subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video by clicking the bell icon. That'll send you a notification every time I go live or post a new video. You can also follow me on my social media platforms. Those include Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so many other places. Periscope, that's another one. I always forget them. So make sure to go check those out down in the description below. I hope everybody has a great day, and remember guys, always keep it off kilter. Bye!